Hi, shalom, good evening. Welcome to A Faithful Life. My name is Amuna Yisrael, and this is day number 26 of the Proverbs Challenge. If you have been with us all this time, welcome again. And if this is the first time you're seeing it, hello, jump right in. This is day number 26, but it's never too late to the wisdom party. So, you know, we're having a definite fiesta up in here, my friend. It is going really good. The 26, the first thing that jumped out to me as I was reading it is that verses 1 to 12 deals with a fool. It talks a lot about, you're gonna hear the baby in the background because, you know, the baby's up, so don't worry, it's all good. We hear a lot about a fool. It's mentioned 11 times in 12 verses. So whoever put it together must have gathered all of Solomon's fool scriptures and just slapped it right here in the 26th chapter. But definitely it lets us know that it's not good to be a fool, and it lets us know some of the characteristics of the fool. I went ahead and wrote it down. The word that stuck out was kesel. That's the word for Hebrew for fool. Is the kaf, the samek, the yod, and the lamed. They say it literally means to be fat, but figuratively it's to slow to understand. I like to call it mentally obese. Mentally obese. I actually wrote a poem like that one time named Mentally Obese. It says here, not worth honor. A fool, I'm summarizing all the stuff that I came across. He says a fool is not worth honor. They'll get beaten, you know, because when you send them to do stuff, they give more headache than it's worth. It says they're not good with responsibility. They'll disappoint you many times. Here it says in 6, he that send a message by the hand of a fool cut off the feet and drink damage. It's just not good. It's just always like, what did you do now? It says fools always return to their folly. It says like a dog to the vomit, so a fool will return to their folly. It's just not good. And if we see ourselves somewhere up in here, you know, pray the Most High that He gives us wisdom, because it's the spirit of wisdom that He bestows upon us if we desire it. And so hold on a minute as I rock the baby. Woohoo, I'm back. So basically, yeah, just recapping, the first 12 verses is all about a fool, how you're gonna feel when you deal with a fool, what not to say when dealing with a fool, and how to recognize if you are the fool, and if you are, please, you know, pray the Most High for wisdom so that we can change. Of course, we're gonna have some foolish ways. We are gonna display some foolishness from time to time. But a fool, I don't remember if some remember that the show Martin, back in the day, how sorry, I gotta get my rock on. Back in the day, how Cole, what came to my mind when I was reading this, how they made his character to be a fool. He was always saying the wrong thing. He was never responsible. Anytime they sent him out to do something, it was always a headache, you know. So that to me was like the classification of a fool, how they made his character to be in that show. Also, what stood out to me, I'm summarizing today because it was like in clumps, was the sluggard. After he came off the fool, he went on to the sluggard. And the slothful man who, you know, is lazy, basically. The lazy person who doesn't want to do nothing, you know. The person who just likes to sleep all day. They don't want to get the best out of life. They don't want to make the best out of life. They have excuses for everything as to why they can't do, why they won't do, and why it won't work. And the talebearer, and he just put it nice and compact, or whoever just compiled all of this in this chapter. They put the fool, the sluggard, and the talebearer all in the same chapter. I will just ride on this last one here, 24 on down. It says, he that hate dissembleth with his words, and layeth up deceit with him. When he speak fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation. I'll go back to the top. 24 says, he that hate dissembleth with his lips, and lay up deceit within him. People who really hate you and pretend like they like you. Solomon is breaking down their whole thing to you. He says, when he speak fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations. We have to look beyond words. People say, oh, but they didn't say anything. I'm a type of person, I go on vibration. And people say, oh, you can't use that. The Most High calls it, they call it intuition. But you got to go on vibration, because words could be words, but vibrations, it never lies. When you see a child, true story, when my daughter was younger, and she encountered somebody, and by the very vibration of the person, she started hollering. When your children, or even animals have this too, young children and animals are able to determine whether or not someone is low-toed, meaning not good. And a lot of times we try to force our children to say, oh, go closer to little Miss such and such, and go sit alongside her, and the child is like, no! Listen to the child. Unless the child is just off the chain, the child is picking up their energy that's beyond the fake smile like this, because they really be a mean, maniacal person, and the child is picking up their what? Their energetic vibration. But because we become a little slow, we become a little off in our dealings and not so tuned in as the young child is, we try to force the child. And a lot of times, bad things end up happening because why? We were not in tune. He says here, when that kind of person speaks, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by deceit. Let's not think that people who walk around and act all nice, that they don't have hatred in their heart and it's covered by a whole, they've been working on it. They know how to mask it. But if you're in tune with energy, you could pick them up. But they have worked on how to trick up people. They are predators, like they say, sheep in wolves' clothing. No, sorry, wolves in sheep's clothing. I hope ain't no sheep in no wolf's clothing. But they are wolves in sheep clothing. Basically is what it says here. Whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. But time and patience. Them have a saying, patient man ride donkey. A patient man rides a donkey. Time and patience reveals all things. That's why he says here, his wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation, because if you give him enough time, he will reload himself. If you feel a vibe, right? I'm gonna bust a pot for now. You come in contact with a person, let's put it today's terms. You come in contact with a person, you vibe them. I just want to make a note. This vibe is different from you hate everybody vibe. This vibe is different from your bad mind everybody vibe. If you have a bad mind or envious mind, or ready eye as they like to say, you can't really apply it because you think everybody got issues. Even people who don't got issues, you think they got issues. And if that's your issue, Most High, please, I pray for our brother and sister today if that may be the issue, so that you don't misapply what I'm about to say. But if that is not your issue, and you usually give people the benefit of the doubt, but there's a nagging feeling about this one person who you just can't put a finger upon it, but you know there's something wrong with them, alright, get little time. Get little time. You don't be nasty or mean or give occasion to accuse you to say that you're really the disgusting person. You be cordial, good morning and good evening, but you keep your distance, and you just get little time. Because hear what Solomon says here, his wickedness, although he covers the hatred with deceit, you're feeling something, but you don't know what it is. It says his wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation. Time and patience, it will reveal all things. Lastly, 27, when I saw it, I had to sing the song. Whosoever dig it up it shall fall in it. If you are a big tree, I am a small axe. I'm sorry, I had to do a bob on you. Whosoever dig a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return unto him. Universal principles, give and receive. Whatever we put out into the universe, that the laws are already set in motion, like gravity, like breathing, like all of the things that are sow and reap, all it's already there. The Most High already made it. It's already done. It's already done. So he says, whosoever dig a pit shall fall therein, and he that roll a stone, it will return upon him. Basically, again, let's not wish evil for others. Let's not be a bad mind others. Let's not ready eye others. Let's not envy others. Let's not covet others. And because the things that we do for others, it will do for us. And let's not plan evil, devious previous things to trip one another up in hopes that you now will rise to stardom, because it really doesn't work like that. Because what you just did to somebody, they're going to do it to you. On that note, thank you for tuning into A Faithful Life. My name is Amuna Israel. Don't forget the Proverbs 31 challenge live showing on YouTube live, also on the blog talk, July 31st at 12:30. That's a Thursday, next Thursday coming up. And I was really looking a little more into the Proverbs. So, I'm going to add my 2 cents, and I hope all of you come in and add your 2 cents, and let's get a good conversation going on here. The question is she born or is she made? Proverbs 31 woman. Is she born or is she made? And we're going to go deeper into that. So thank you again. Have a blessed day. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please do so here. And if you haven't checked out day 1 through 25, because we riding now, we riding and vibing, you can do so here. Everybody have a blessed Erev. That means good night. Laila Tov. Shalom.